This conference will now be recorded.
Thanks. Let me share my screen. So in the Salesforce demo part, so we have discussed what is the cloud computing. So where does the word cloud computing has come from? So what are different types of services, in which type of service the Salesforce has come into the picture, what we do in the Salesforce in the real time. So what is a concept called editions, and ready, if you don't mind, can you go on mute, please?
Yeah.
So what is the different types of editions we have in the Salesforce, and what we do with the these editions, and how much is edition cost? So when you get any requirement in the real time, so if you are a business analyst or technical architect, on what parameters you have to decide which edition that you have to choose from. So what are different types of releases which are called spring, summer, and winter, and then we have seen all these different concepts in our Salesforce demo part. So now in today's class, like we discussed in our last demo part, so there are different types of editions, which is called professional, enterprise, or unlimited edition for your Salesforce. So where you have to choose from in the real time, and these editions are not free of cost, where you have to pay per use, pay on the user basis, number of user basis. But now in our this class, so we are going to register to one of the edition called developer edition. So this developer edition, you no need to pay anything to the Salesforce. So this is completely a free of cost, free of cost. So apart from the developer edition, so there is another edition called free edition itself. This is also a free of cost, but the difference between the free edition and the developer edition is, so if you opt for the developer edition, so you can use it for your lifetime. You can actually use it for your lifetime. But if you go for the free edition, so this is a trial version, so where you can use it only for 30 days. So after 30 days your access will be completely get expired. Okay, so instead of registering to free edition and after 30 days again re-registering to some other access, so let's register to the Salesforce using the developer edition, which is a free of cost and where you can use it for your lifetime. And there are some users who had already registered. So one of my in some of my previous batches, so on my very first day class itself, so some of my students were already registered and they came for the class. So the users, or I can say the students who have got already registered to the Salesforce, some students they had registered from login.salesforce.com. And again I'm repeating, so if you had already registered to the Salesforce, so please do not register from the login.salesforce.com. Okay, the reason is, so whenever you register from the login.salesforce.com, and here you can see there is a button called try for free of cost, and if you click on this, so where you can register at a free of cost, and here you will be getting only the trial version, where you will be getting an access to the free edition but not to the developer edition. But to get an access to the developer edition, so go to the link called developer.salesforce.com, developer.salesforce.com. Okay, so earlier, so 4 5 years ago, actually the link was developer.force.com. So force.com is one of the platforms, so what we discussed in our demo part. So earlier it was developer.force.com, so now they have renamed to developer.salesforce.com. Okay, so this is a place where you are going to register to the Salesforce using your developer edition. And so this is a place where you can see the complete resources, the complete products, the complete information about your Salesforce development. If you want to develop on the community clouds or the market cloud or the commerce cloud or the sales cloud or the service cloud, or if you are a developer you want to integrate with third party environments like I can say Heroku or any other big data or IoT, which is Internet of Things. So all these development related activities, development related documents or resources, everything you can find it from your developer.salesforce.com. Okay, so now here we are going to register it. So on top right hand side here you can see the sign up button. So click on the sign up, and so fill your details, and here you can see, so get your own developer edition for a free of cost. So fill the form. I'll fill my details. Okay, and what is your current role in your current company? So here you can choose any of the role like developer or administrator or architect or IT manager, anything. But I suggest whenever you are updating this form, so please make sure to give your role as a developer. The reason is, so if you give the role as developer, you will be getting some additional components to your access. So those components we'll see in our future classes. So to get access to those components, you should give the role as a developer itself, but not any other role, please. So company name. So let's suppose I'm currently working for the company called ABC. So I'll take this company as an example. Okay, so let's suppose this is my product based company. So now when I say the product based company, for the product based company, we have to selling the products to the customers. So when we sell the products to the customers, we'll be getting the customers. So now I'm creating a Salesforce instance on behalf of my company ABCD, which is a product based company. So for my company, I'm going to do the sales process, service process. So where we are going to see how to sell the products to the customers, and how we get the customers, and how we promote the products by means of campaigns, and how we get leads, how we generate cases, and how we provide solutions to the customers. Like all these different processes we are going to see by taking an example, the company name as ABC. So let's assume, so this is my product based company which I'm currently working for, and the country I'm living in, and postal code, and I'll give the username. So this is the username which you have to give to log in into the Salesforce. Okay, to log in into the Salesforce. If you want to give your email ID, you can give it, or else if you want to give any of the your uniqueness of username, you can give it. So I'll give something pradeep.training, some any random number at gmail.com. The moment you sign up, so automatically a mail will be sent to the email ID for the verification purpose. So click on sign me up. Okay, so it has registered. So now let me check my email ID. Let me check my email ID. So where I have got an email. So welcome to Salesforce, verify your account. So let's click on verify my account. And once I click on verify account, it will ask me to set up the password. Okay, so it will ask me to set up the password. So now we are just registering to the Salesforce by means of the developer edition. So I'll set up some password as per the norms, and some security questions. So you can fill up any security question based on your interest, and change password. Okay, so once I click on change password, so now it is taking me to the Salesforce application. Okay, so now let me log out from the application, and now we'll see how to log in into the instance. How to log in into the instance. So whenever we are registering, so we have registered by means of developer.salesforce.com. But whenever if you want to log in, so how to log in into the Salesforce? From which link we have to log into the Salesforce cloud instance? So let me log out from the application. So here we have the logout. So now let's log in. So whenever if you want to log in, you always have to use the link called login.salesforce.com. Okay, so you have to use login.salesforce.com. Okay, so let me copy this link. So and this is the place where you will log in into the instance. So only for the first time, whenever you're registering, you have to use the developer.salesforce.com. But every time you're logging into the instance, you have to use login.salesforce.com. So now give my username and password. I'll give my username and password, so which I have just created. Click on login. So it will ask me for a verification code if it is the first time logging in from a different browser. So take the verification code which I got it to my email ID and copy paste. Okay. So now we are into the Salesforce application. The first thing that we need to understand within the Salesforce is the Salesforce has been categorized into two different environments. The first environment name is Salesforce Classic. The second environment name is Salesforce Lightning. Salesforce Lightning. So this Salesforce Lightning, I can say this is the improved interface, the improved environment compared to the Classic, which is a basic one. So since the time that Salesforce has evolved, so I can say from the year 1999, from the year 1999 to the early of 2016, and still the Salesforce is on the one of the environment called Salesforce Classic. And for the Salesforce Classic, now the recently in the early of 2017, so the Salesforce has come up with a new environment, so which is the improved user interface, improved performance, okay, improved look and feel, and improved user friendly of your Classic, which is called your Salesforce Lightning. The Salesforce Lightning is advanced environment compared to your Salesforce Classic. Okay, so these are your two different environments, two different instances. So now we have logged into the application by just looking into this page. So this is some random page within the Salesforce. The moment we log in, so it took me to the home page. So by just looking into this entire page and by looking into the URL of the web page, so I say this is not a Classic, but this is a Lightning page. So how could I say this is a Lightning? Look into the URL. The URL says lightning.force.com. So whenever you navigate to any page within the Lightning environment, the URL will contain a keyword called Lightning. And if you find the Lightning keyword, so which means we are now under Lightning, but not we are not using the Classic. So now the Salesforce is giving you an option. So Salesforce is giving you a feature. So where you can navigate. Okay, so where you can switch from Lightning to Classic or Classic to Lightning. Lightning LIGHT. So where you can switch from Lightning to Classic or Classic to back to your Lightning. So newer version to older version or from older to the newer version. Okay, so now we are in the Lightning environment. So let's go back to the older one, which is called a Salesforce Classic. So how to go back to the Salesforce Classic? On top right hand side here you can see your profile. This is called your view profile. Click on your view profile. So where you have one of the options called switch to Salesforce Classic. So let's click on this link. It will take me back to the older version, which is called Salesforce Classic. And this is my your older version called Salesforce Classic. And now if you look into the link, the link does not have the Lightning keyword. It is called your Classic. And now from the Classic, if you want to go to Lightning, and here you can see the hyperlink, switch to Lightning Experience. Click on this link. Again, it will take you to the Lightning Experience. Okay. So now for the first few classes, so let's understand the Salesforce. Let's understand Salesforce navigation, terminology, the concepts, functionality, the parameters, everything from the Salesforce Classic, which is the basic version. And once we get habituated to the Salesforce and once we know the in and out of the Salesforce functionality and everything, so then we'll jump onto the Lightning and we'll see the advanced concepts. Okay. First, we'll understand from the basics, which is called your Salesforce Classic. So let's go back to your application. So click on your name and which is called your profile and click on the option switch to Salesforce Classic. This is your Salesforce class. And few things here. So within the demo part, so we have discussed there are three different types of releases. So which is called spring, summer, and winter. If you remember, spring, summer, and winter releases. As this is 2019 year, so we'll be having spring, summer, and winter 19. Okay, so which we are discussed in the demo part. So now, how could I find out which version that we are currently using? In which version, on which version our Salesforce instance is? To find out, so here you can see the home tab. So click on the home tab. So once you click on the home tab on the right hand side, so where you can see winter 19 for developers. So the current version of the Salesforce is winter 19. So after 4 months, automatically your application will get upgraded to maybe spring 19. And after that 4 months, automatically your application will get upgraded to summer 19. So 2019 will end, and again winter 20, spring 20, and summer 20. Okay. So no need of any manual upgradation required. Automatically, so once the Salesforce upgrades, automatically your entire instance will also get upgraded to the latest version. Okay, so there is a one of the site called, it is too early to learn this, but I'll just show it to you. Trust.salesforce.com. Trust.salesforce.com. So if you go to this website, and so where you can actually see what is the status, what is the current status of your instance. Okay, so once you click on the status, so where you can find, so whether your instance is up or down, so whether if your instance is having any maintenances or not. And here you can see ongoing maintenances, and if you click on ongoing maintenances, so where you can see if there are any maintenances currently scheduled, we can see, or else no. So whenever your instance is going to get upgraded to the newer version, so here you can see under the maintenance. And like I said, again, this is too early to learn about trust.salesforce.com, which we'll see in our future classes. Next part. So here we have registered with developer edition. So now how could I find out in which edition that we are on? Are we using unlimited or professional or enterprise or developer? So to find out, again move your pointer to the topmost of your tab. So where it says Salesforce hyphen developer edition. So now we are on the developer edition, but not a professional or enterprise or unlimited. Okay. Next part. So these are the just basics of your Salesforce. The next part is Salesforce has multiple instances across the globe. They have so many instances across the globe. So what is instances? Instances are nothing but data centers. Data centers. So as Salesforce is on the cloud, so as the Salesforce is on the public cloud, Salesforce can't rely on one single data center. Salesforce can't rely on one single instance. They should have the multiple data centers or multiple instances, right? To make the traffic, whatever the traffic they are getting it to their servers, it has to be smooth and it has to be normal. Okay. Sorry. So for this, they should have the multiple data centers or the multiple instances across the globe. So now they have the instances in AP, Asia Pacific. They have the instances in North America. They also have the instances in the Europe. So in the Asia Pacific, they have the sub instances again, sub data centers. So those sub data centers or sub instances names are AP1, AP2, AP3 until they have almost close to AP16. Even same for Europe, EU1, EU2, EU3 until they have almost close to EU16. Coming to North America, they have almost close to NA1, NA2, almost close to NA50, 50. Okay, NA50. So these are different sub instances, or I can say sub data centers under each and every instance of the Salesforce. Now, So whenever I register to the Salesforce by using a developer.salesforce.com, so now my instance, my entire Salesforce instance would have been installed, in one of these instances. It could be AP or NA or U. So how could I find out this? Based on my IP address, whatever the IP address that I had used for while registering it for the developer.salesforce.com. Based on my IP address, it will take you to a specific instance, AP or NA or EU, and within the specific instance, I should I should have got one of these sub instances, AP1 or AP2 or AP5 or AP10 or AP16. So now how would I come to know on which sub instance my entire data is getting stored? For this again, look into the URL. Look into the URL where it says AP8. So now if you are from USA region, so if you register, so maybe you will get something between NA1 to NA50. And if you are from Europe region, you will get something from EU between EA1 to EU60. So which means, so now in the future classes, we are going to create classes, triggers, applications, objects, businesses, records, and we are going to create data, and we are going to create lot many things. All my entire instance data is going to get stored on the instance called AP8 instance. Okay, once it is fixed, that should will be fixed. We cannot change the data physically from one location to another location. This is not possible. Okay, so my automatically I got an instance called AP8. So whatever the instance it could be, whenever you create a data, all the data is getting stored on the cloud. Okay, any questions so far? Anyone? Any questions?
Uh, Pradeep, I have a question here, Vidya.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Um, so when I select the role as developer, so you
Mhm.
mean that I'll not get the access of administrator, like I will not be able to operate as an administrator, right? Right?
No, no, no. So there we have the different types of the roles like admin or developer or IT business analyst or lot many things. So whatever
Yeah.
the role that you choose, so you will be getting the all the components. But
Mm-hmm.
whenever you choose the developer role, you will be getting some additional components compared to other roles. So
Okay.
what are the additional components which will get it for the developer role? That will see in a future class. But I would suggest so you please select the developer as your role, where you will be
Mm-hmm.
getting some additional components, additional accesses.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh, Hi Pradeep, this is Swati. Actually, can I know something more about the data center?
Mhm.
What actually the data center is and all?
Yeah.
Like, what is an instance and what is a data center?
Right. Yeah. Okay. So when you see practically the Salesforce, as we have learned, the Salesforce is on the cloud. So when the Salesforce is on the cloud, so which means the Salesforce is on the internet. So when the Salesforce is again it's on the internet, which is not an internal data server, so it's not so easy for the Salesforce database to control the traffic, which is the incoming traffic. Incoming traffic in the sense the customers who are accessing the Salesforce website. So that is why the Salesforce has categorized into the multiple data centers. So earlier, each and every company they used to store the internal data servers, the servers within their company. So when they store the servers within their company, so if they have some huge traffic which is coming to their internal data server, sometimes the data servers will get crash. If you're trying to access any of the sites like booking sites, sometimes it will get crashed because they're getting some huge traffic and they don't have enough bandwidth so to give the space to the other incoming customers. So that is why as the Salesforce is on the cloud, as the Salesforce has a customers across the globe, so now they wanted to actually have the instances, which is called the data centers. Data centers means the centers where the data is actually getting stored. The centers where actually they have their own databases. Databases. Okay, so now the Salesforce actually categorized into multiple instances. So where they have their own instances, or I can say data centers or databases across the globe. So instead of relying in one single location, they have this spread across the globe. Initially, somewhere in early of 2000 I can say, they had only in North America, because Salesforce is headquarters in San Francisco, which is a part of North America. Initially, they had only in North America. So as they're getting more and more customers across the globe from Asia Pacific, Europe, Australia, and different continents or countries, so now they wanted to spread these instances across the globe. So they had chosen Asia Pacific, North America, Europe, and different data centers. And within these data centers, again they have the multiple sub instances. And again, so within Asia Pacific, they have the AP1, AP2, AP3, AP4 until AP16. And these data centers, whatever we are talking, so these are not physically visible. They are not physically visible because these are on the cloud. These are on the cloud. So when I say the Asia Pacific, so you can say the India or Japan or any country within the Asia Pacific, they would have set up their own data center over there, and any customers coming from Asia Pacific, they are sending it to the Asia Pacific data centers. So based on the continent, they have divided the instances, and based on this continent, they are sending the customers traffic to the specific data centers to not to get crash their main data centers. And this is why we have the concept called instances. Understood?
Yes. Thank you.
Cool. Okay. So next, moving on to the next concept. So the Salesforce, it has a standard and custom things. A standard things and the custom things. So when I say it is a standard, standard means so whatever you get it by default, whatever you get it by default. So whenever I register to the Salesforce application, whatever I get it by default, those are all the standard things. So which means once I go to the application, so here I can see on the topmost, I can see the home button, chatter, libraries, content, subscriptions. I don't know what all these things, which you're going to learn in the future. But these are all the some things which we had not created, but these are the something which by default it has provided. And here you can see something called sales, services, marketing, app launcher. There are so many things. And again, these are all something which are got it by default. Okay, so which is called your standard things. And custom things means whatever you create by your own, whatever you create by your own or as per the requirement, as per the client requirement. So now your client has requested you to create a new application called aviation. So they are on the aviation thing, so where they are actually tracking they have their own airlines. So to track the airlines data, so they wanted to create a kind of aviation applications within the Salesforce where they track pilots, passengers, air hostess, or what is the flight number, what is the source and destination, what is the longitude and latitude of the source, what is the longitude and latitude of the destination. So all this information they want to track. So which means these are some things, some of the components which the Salesforce does not provide you by default, which are not standard, where you have to create by your own, create by your own, which is called the custom things. Okay, so within the standard and custom, we have app, object, and feed. App, object, and feed. So app, it has standard application and custom application. Object, it has standard application and standard object and custom object. And coming to field, it has a standard field and custom fields. So what is an application, what is an object, and what is a field? So application is nothing but it is a collection of objects, collection of objects. Okay, and what is an object? So in the database language, object is nothing but a table. It is nothing but a table. So let's take an example. I'm running a a prestigious school. I'm running a prestigious school here in Bangalore. Okay, so now when I'm running a school, so I want to use a Salesforce application as a platform to track all my students information, all the students related parents information, and students information like what is the classroom, what is the section of a specific student, how much number of marks he or she obtained, and who is the class teacher of each and every class, and the class teacher information and teachers information. So all this information that I want to track, I can use a Salesforce as one of the example. So here I would like to create an app called School. So where within the school I can have an objects like student is one object, teachers is another object, and students parent is one object, like this. So these are all just different objects, and within the each and every object we can have multiple fields. Fields are nothing but the details of the table. The details of the object is nothing but your fields. So within a student we can expect like student name, student roll number, class, section, all these things. And once you fill all these details, we can have records. So let's understand the application objects, fields, and records by taking an example of an Excel sheet. Okay. So I can also use an Excel sheet to track my entire school related information, students and teachers and other examples. So let's suppose the first sheet, I'll name it as a student. The second sheet, I'll name it as a teacher. So like I said, student is one of the object, and student object is nothing but it is a table. So table means where it will be having the columns, and also it will be having the rows. It will be having the rows and it will be having the columns. The combination of the columns and rows are nothing but your entire table. Entire table. The entire table is nothing but your an object. And within the student object, the details, the details which are nothing but a fields. What are the details that we can expect? So we can have student name, roll number, class, section, marks obtained, like this, right? So these are all your columns. Name is one column, roll number, class, section, marks obtained, these are all your different columns. So whenever you fill the values for each and every cell, so it will become a one record. Now let's suppose the first student I'm filling, Ram, some roll number, class 5th, section A, he obtained 85 marks. So next record, Sita and some roll number, 6th class B section, and marks obtained. And finally, one more record, roll number and class, section, and marks obtained. The first row is a one of the record which belongs to the RAM student. These are the complete, these all these details belongs to the RAM student. RAM class, section, roll number, marks. And second row is Sita record, and the third row is the Lakshman record. So each row is a record. So basically the fields, which are nothing but the details. So these are all your columns. Columns are nothing but your fields, and the records are nothing but your rows. Columns are nothing but your fields, and the rows are nothing but your records. The combination of the columns and rows are nothing but your object. Okay, so like how we have the student object, so this is all your entire student object where we are maintaining all the students information for different fields. Like how we are maintaining for a student, we can also maintain one for the teacher, like teacher name, experience, subjects handling, phone number, email ID, address, all the details. So first sheet is students, second sheet is teacher, let's suppose third sheet is some classroom sections also. So these are all the different tabs. So each tab, each sheet is a object. So in a one single Excel sheet, like how we can have the multiple sheets in one single application, we can have multiple objects. So when I save this entire sheet, I'll save this as a school Excel sheet. School Excel sheet. Okay. So like how we can actually maintain an Excel sheet, information in the Excel sheet, we can also maintain in the Salesforce. And this is nothing but your application, object, fields, and records. Okay. So going ahead, I will be using the application objects, fields, and records most commonly. So you have to keep it in your mind. What is an application? What is an object? What is a field? And what is a record? Okay. Next part. The first thing here. So let's ignore the custom for the time being. So we haven't created any custom things. First, we'll focus on the standard. Standard. The first thing here we have an application. So whenever you open an application, so whenever you create a Salesforce instance, you're supposed to have some standard applications, standard objects, standard applications and standard objects. So now the first thing is, where can I find my standard applications? What are the different standard applications the Salesforce is providing you? So to find out this, here you can see the app menu on top right hand side. Here you can see the app menu. Click on the app menu. So where you can see these are all your standard applications. So sales, service, marketing, app launcher, community, site.com, Salesforce chatter, and content. So different applications, it has different functionalities. For example, now we are under the content. So within the content, where you can see the content and subscriptions, different tabs. So now let's jump on to the sales. Sales. If I select sales and see here, you can see the campaigns, leads, accounts, contacts, opportunities, and there are so many different tabs. And now service. When I go to service, a different set of tabs. So different applications, it will be having different functionalities. So like how the school is dealing with students, teachers, classrooms, and I can say healthcare, which deals with hospitals, doctors, patients. Aviation deals with pilots, airlines, all these things. Okay, some finance deals with the capital, funds, finance, all these things. So different applications will have different set of functionalities. The most important applications in the Salesforce is, one is sales and one is service application. Sales and service. So for the first few classes, we'll focus on the sales application. So where your entire Salesforce application lies on the sales process by means of your sales application, and service process by means of the service application. So we'll understand the sales and service, which are your standard applications. And once we see the standard process, then we'll jump on to the custom application. So let's create our own application. Not a school example. We'll take some real-time example. The real-time example which I had worked on in my previous project. So I'll be taking one of the real-time example, which will take it for the custom application. So when I say that custom application, so it will be having its own custom objects, which will be having its own functionalities. Okay. So now the first application, which is called the sales application. And now here you can see, now we are under the sales. The sales, it has different tabs. So this is the home tab, and if you move the pointer here, it says chatter tab, campaigns, leads, accounts, lot many things. These are all the different tabs. Okay. Now, so what is the sales? So now we are seeing this entire application as an example at ABCD company. ABCD company. So now let's suppose ABCD is one of the product based company, so where they have their own products. Okay, so when I say the products, it could be a mobile manufacturing company, or I can say some laptops manufacturing company, or any appliances manufacturing company, or any product based company. So when it is a product based company, so they will be getting the customers. Okay, sorry. So when they'll be getting the customers, so now this product based company, the sales department users, they have to sell the products to the customers. So once they sell the products to the customers, so they have to capture the customers' details in the CRM platform called Salesforce. Okay, so which is called your sales application, like how you do the sales to the customers. Okay, next we have something called service. Service means, so now we have sold, I'm a part of the company, product based company ABCD. So we have sold the products to the customers. Customers, they are using the applications. Sorry, customers, they are using the products. So after a while, after a few years, so now they are facing some issues, some problems with with the products. So when they are facing some issues or problems with the products, what they have to do? They have to reach out to the service department and get the issue resolved. Okay, get the issue resolved. So whenever they reach out to the service department, now the service department, they have to raise the cases. They have to raise the cases on behalf of the customer, because the customers does not will not be having an access to the Salesforce instance. Okay, now let's suppose Vodafone, which is a network operator here in India. So if I'm using the Vodafone and if I have some issue with my Vodafone network, will I be having an access to their network Vodafone database where I can log the cases directly? No. What I should do? I should call to the customer care, and customer care will listen my problem, and customer care person, he will log a ticket, he will log a case on behalf of me. The moment he logs a ticket in their system, I will be getting a automated message or automated email. Like the same way, the service department people, they will log a case on behalf of the customers with the products they are facing the issues, and the customers will be getting the automated emails. And once the case is resolved, the service department users, they are supposed to provide the solutions to the cases. Solutions to the cases. Okay. Now, so first we'll focus on your sales application. So and again, so within the sales application, the main important objects, the main important tabs, okay, those are account, contact and opportunities, and campaigns and leads. Campaigns, leads, accounts, contacts and opportunities. So these are the very main things, so which the business user, any business users, sales users or service user, where they focus on, or marketing users of your product based companies. So now what is an account, what is a contact, what is an opportunity, what is a lead, and what is a campaign? So whenever for your product based company, which is ABCD product based company, so whenever you get a customers, the customer could be a direct customer, or a customer, it could be a indirect customer. So now what is the direct and indirect customers in terms of sales? In terms of sales, okay. So direct customers are the ones where the customer itself show the interest on your product, and he will come to your sales center, and he or she will purchase the product. Customer will purchase the product. The first thing is, before do that, as you belong to the product based company, you have to promote your product. You have to promote your product by means of paper advertisements or TV advertisements or banner advertisements or something else. So wherever you advertise it, so some customers will see and will get attracted to your products, and they will come to your store, and he or she will purchase the product. So where the customer itself has shown the interest on your product, which is called your direct customers. So now what is the indirect customer? So indirect customers are the ones where our sales department users. Sales department users, they will take the product to the customer. They will take the product to the customer, and the sales department person, he will explain about the product to the customer. And once he explains, the customer may or may not purchase the product. So initially the customer is not actually interested. The salesperson itself, he has went to the customer location, and he has given the overview of the product, okay, and he has explained about the product, about the configuration, about the pros and everything. And once he explains, it is not a guarantee that a customer will purchase, may or may not be. If in case if the customer is purchased after you had displayed, after you had explained about your product, then the customer will become the indirect customer, but not a direct customer. So where initially the customer was not interested, but after we had expressed about our product benefits, then the customer shown the interest and the customer has purchased. So always the direct customers will start from accounts, contacts, and opportunities, and indirect customer starts from campaigns, leads, and accounts, contacts, and opportunities. Okay. So what is an account? What is a contact? What is opportunity? And what is a campaigns and leads? So that we'll see in our tomorrow's class. Okay. So where I want to take all the accounts, contacts, opportunities, along with campaigns and leads in a single class. Okay. Along with its definition. So once we see this definition, so for the first 5 to 6 classes, so where we will see the Salesforce as a Salesforce business user. Business user means end users. End users means sales users or service users or marketing users, like how the sales users they create the deals, like how the sales users do the sales process, like how the service users they create the cases, solutions, like how the marketing users create do the promotions of your product. For the first 5 to 6 classes, we'll understand Salesforce terminologies. We'll see the Salesforce as the Salesforce business user. After 6 classes, then actual Salesforce starts, where means we'll see the Salesforce as a Salesforce administrator. How to create our own custom applications, how to create our own custom design, how to create our own custom functionality, how to automate your business processes. Okay, all these things that we will see after the 6 classes, where we will see it as a Salesforce administrator. So any questions for today's class? Any questions, queries, doubts, clarifications?
Pradeep, no questions for me. It's clear for me. But for tomorrow's class, this is Vidya.
Yeah,
For
Vijay, yeah,
tomorrow's
please.
class, I might not be able to join, but I can listen to the recorded audio and get back to you on Thursday if I have any queries. I'll join on Thursday.
Okay. Okay, yeah, sure, not a problem. So anyways, you'll be getting the recording session from the institute people. So the Prakash will send you the recording session. So please make sure to go through the recording session before you join for the third class.
Yeah, sure, sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more questions from anyone? Banu, Reddy, Swati.
Yeah, okay,
That's fine.
How about you, Swati? Reddy?
Yeah, I'm good, Pradeep. Thank you.
Thanks guys, thanks for joining the class today. So it is our very first class, so it is only just the basics. So we haven't seen how to create a records or fields or anything. So slowly and slowly we'll understand the concept, and slowly we'll go to the next steps. And thanks for to join the class today. we'll wrap up and we'll join back tomorrow the same time. Have a good day. Bye.